Hi guys, this is Josh here, and holy shit, he did it. Um, Love him, hate him, anywhere in between. Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States, but you knew that already. He will be the 45th president of the United States. Just one more person in a long, long line of predecessors before him. And you have to think, it's like, which one doesn't belong? And I'm not saying he doesn't belong, but it's like, what's the outlier here? You know, we have Washington, we have Lincoln, we have Reagan, we have Donald fucking Trump. Like, wow. It is what it is. And I was actually pretty lucky. I was invited to a debate party with some of my campaign people and my politicians, and I've been working really hard for Bob C., running for Congress here in Colorado's 4th District, and I was with him when he lost by a huge, huge, huge margin, unfortunately. We had great people on the ground. I'm one of them, but there just weren't enough great people on the ground, and the incumbent candidate in the House of Representatives will carry another term. So we'll try again in 2 years. If I'm his campaign manager, I'm gonna make sure he wins. If Bob C wants me to be his campaign manager, we're not losing. I don't care. I don't care what I have to do or what it takes. If I'm his campaign manager, we are turning CD4 blue for Bob, or bluer, blue enough. Anyway, that's not the election that you guys really care about. Um, so, Donald Trump, I'm not the only one, but I was one of not many people that predicted it fairly accurately. On Twitter, I posted a map of the Electoral College, and I got every state right except I think two or three. I did not see Wisconsin coming, and I think Wisconsin's very, very important in terms of what happens. Wisconsin made a huge statement, but I did see Michigan, angry white class working voters marching. It probably looked like the Walking Dead, but they rose and they marched to the polls and they spoke, and good for them, honestly. And what else? The reality is Trump overperformed somewhere between 3 and 4% in his polling, which completely shifts a lot of the swingiest of the swing states. A lot of people thought Trump was going to win Nevada. I knew he wasn't. Too many Hispanics who, rightfully so, I may say, are concerned about a Trump presidency. So, of course, they would hold Nevada blue, and that's exactly what happened. We knew that weeks ago. We knew that with the early voting. Colorado, I did not expect to go red, and sure enough, it held. Colorado, very defiantly, Colorado just might be the only state that actually overperformed for Hillary Clinton. So, mazel tov to her. I guess she can wipe her tears with Colorado or New Hampshire's 4 delegates. That's kind of mean. I am a Democrat after all, but I'm an angry Democrat. I'm a Bernie-crat, progressive. I know I have some hate on the internet, people that say I'm not a progressive at all, and I understand that, but I guess what I like to say is I'm not a blind progressive. Like, I see things in my party I don't like, but it's what it is. And I don't participate in, George Orwell calls it groupthink. And I'm all about helping people, but I worry about my party. I worry about the Democratic Party and its motives at times. Because if you are truly interested in figuring out ways to help people, but intelligently, Democrats don't always get it right. Which way do I lean? Oh, left, of course. Absolutely. 100%. 95-ish percent. I don't align on policy with Republicans, but I grew up with Republicans. I enjoy Republicans, and I think most of them are good people. And I hate the way Republicans are talked about in my party, especially in the post-Trump era. Although they better get used to him real fast. But now, I'd rather that something gets done than nothing gets done, even if it's a Trump presidency. So I'm glad that Trump has the Senate and the House. So at least something will happen, as opposed to nothing, as the nation burns to ashes. So I guess that is something we should be happy about, even as a progressive, because imagine a never-ending battle of the president and the House and the Senate. No bueno. And at least they will be on a similar page, although Trump is not traditional Republican whatsoever, so they will still butt heads. But that's democracy for you. We butt heads. So I called most states very accurately. Nate Silver, 538, not so much. Honestly, he should apply for a job at Hot Dog on a Stick. I mean, we need to stop relying on this poor guy for accurate election predictions. I did think there was a moment there that I thought that Hillary Clinton was going to win. And, that has its own sets of ups and downs, honestly. I'm trying to be nonpartisan here as much as I can. That has its own sets of ups and downs. There was a moment, maybe 30 minutes there, where Hillary Clinton was winning Florida and Ohio and Iowa by a huge margin when its polls opened, and North Carolina. She was winning all of those at the same time, consistent not with a Democratic victory, but a Democratic landslide. It looked like she was going to win every single state that, gotta be careful here, that Obama won against Romney, completely crippling any possible path to 270. Trump didn't get 270. He's going to get upwards of potentially 306 electors. That's what it looks like. For whatever reason, I don't know why, Michigan and Arizona haven't finalized their electors yet. Maybe there's some kind of dilemma over at their Secretary of State offices. I really don't know. Maybe there's some kind of scandal going on. Maybe potential election fraud. I have no idea. But even if those states don't exist, Trump already has 276 electors per the states that have already signed off. The Secretary of State for those states has said, yep, we confirm the election results. Thus, there's no possibility she's going to win, although she is winning the popular vote, and as California votes come in, she's going to win the popular vote by considerably more than Gore won when he won the popular vote but lost the Electoral College. So, at the end of the day, Donald Trump, love him, hate him, is a fantastic salesman. An absolutely fantastic salesman. Is he a good businessman? That's really debatable. The answer, many would say, is no, not at all. He's had all these businesses. He had a huge loan of $1 million. And if you had just invested it in the market, in stable, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now, but if he had just invested that money and not built a business, it would be worth about what he's made that into now. That's what I understand, and I'm not an economist at all. I need to get better. But he's a fantastic salesman. He's such a good salesman. I think he's convinced a considerable amount of the people that he is a good businessman, and they buy it, and they love it. They love it, they love it, they love it. The enthusiasm, the absolute, just undisputable, perhaps unprecedented level of enthusiasm Trump got for his supporters is what carried him through. It's partly responsible for the major polling errors. The prediction from our favorite genius, Nate Silver, who had Hillary Clinton at an 85% chance of winning. Actually, it was 76% chance in his model, his brilliant model, of her winning. And Trump overperformed. I mean, shortly after that moment, when we kind of thought that Clinton was about to sweep the Rust Belt, as they call it, I guess, Trump wins Florida. Then Ohio comes in, and Ohio's predicted the winner correctly every single election since, I believe, 1960 something. Something in that decade. So a long time. And Iowa, as the votes come in, Trump suddenly takes a lead and wins Iowa, as expected. And then North Carolina. And then Wisconsin opens. And he's winning fucking Wisconsin. He's winning Wisconsin. Republicans do not win Wisconsin. But apparently they do. Maybe Republicans do not win Wisconsin. Maybe they don't. But Trump wins Wisconsin. Michigan, an even bigger lead. Michigan, I predicted. I also thought he'd get New Hampshire, but that ended up going for Clinton, which is perfectly within reason. That makes sense. Trump won Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is a state that Bernie Sanders carried. And Arizona is a state that Bernie Sanders would have carried if there weren't massive voter fraud and massive voter election. And these are states where Donald Trump dramatically overperformed. There are a lot of angry Bernie supporters that did not unify along with the Democrats. Honestly, I spend time with these people. I do political work with these people. I think they're on their way to starting their own political party. And I'll have to decide at some point if I want to fully embrace that or say that's not for me either. I have my own ideas as I talk about online for a political party, the Phoenix Party. I don't know. I might forget about it. I may develop it. But Trump had a huge victory, 306, potentially 306 electors. I want to go back to Wisconsin. So I imagine Wisconsin as a person in this case. Think about Wisconsin, a state that Bernie had a great victory in, and all of a sudden, Bernie is ripped away from them. He did not lose fair and square. It was ripped away from him by, pardon me, but let's call her Bitch Wasserman Schultz. Bitch Wasserman Schultz and Donna Brazilian Wax. Let's do that. So, Bitch Wasserman Schultz and Bitch Wasserman Schultz, Donna Brazilian Wax colluded. The second one colluded with CNN. The first one colluded with the DNC. Brought the DNC and the Hillary campaign far too close together. Worked to get her elected. And sure enough, we have all these random voter purges. Dead people tend to vote for Hillary Clinton. I'm not even kidding. People that died 5 years ago are suddenly found voting for Hillary Clinton. How does that happen? I don't know, you tell me. But, Wisconsin. I feel like Wisconsin took a really strong stance and said, hey, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Hey, Donna Brazil. You took Bernie from us. We fought for him. We did our part. And this is what you did. And now we're all going to die. Watch this. And Wisconsin gets up. It looks the Democrats straight in the eye. And it takes its electors. And it says, hey, Mr. Trump. Hey, Mr. Trump. Donald. Donnie. Hey, Donnie. Catch. Now run. And Wisconsin pushes Donald Trump over the edge, and the United States burns. Wisconsin says Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Donna Brazil, and others that are lucky enough to not get called out in this video. Allowed this to happen. They imposed a weak nominee into the race. So unbelievably weak, they couldn't convince enough people in the right states to win an election against Donald Trump, which could have been a slam dunk. If Bernie Sanders was in there, he would have won by 15 points in a popular vote and electoral college landslide. Wisconsin said, "You stole him from us. I'm not letting you win. I'm not letting anyone win. We are all going to die." It takes its electors, gives them to Donald. Donald carries over 270. Boom. Wisconsin basically pulled a kamikaze, I think. They said, this is what you get. This is what you get for 4 years for doing this to us with a candidate that we wanted. I think Donald Trump will either be a phenomenal president or a god-awful, terrible president with no in between. I don't know. You don't know either. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. God bless.